So I'm at Home Depot right now just looking for some paint. You can get into some serious cash with paint. We just need some cheap latex paint. I need black and white. And apparently I need to take cheap out of the equation because these are $16.50 for 1 quart. Okay, we need a flat black, we need a flat white. Man, I could literally get this at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. $3 here. I better grab another one of these just in case. Yowza. Wow, $80 for that stuff. I could have done better. Yikers, I need to refuel the fridge. So I probably didn't really need to buy white paint because in the last episode we did a paint test with that stuff right there and it has worked perfectly fine. I was kind of afraid it was gonna eat through this foam, but it did good. But I knew I needed latex paint since I was there. I went ahead and bought it just in case. So we have the black, we have the white here. And then I also stopped off at a Mark's store and grabbed a bottle of this Elmer's glue because I was watching a video on a channel called The Witching Hour, and they used Elmer's glue to create a crackle paint effect. They had built their own Michael Myers facade in their front yard for Halloween in 2020, and this crackle effect is basically exactly what I'm looking for to make this look aged. I'll put the link to that video below because it is totally awesome. I cannot believe I didn't find it before in my research, but I'm glad I found it now. So before I move on with painting the actual house, I want to do one more test here, and that is the crackle test. First, we have to paint a layer of black, then we have to do a layer of the Elmer's school glue, and before that completely dries, we have to put on a layer of the white. The glue should cause the white to crackle while it's drying and expose the black underneath, basically resulting in an effect that looks like the house has been sitting there for years and years and years. And today is the perfect day to be painting this house too, because I can leave the garage door open here. It's like 64 degrees out right now. This is gonna be awesome. So I tried the first test, I just let it sit and dry. I may have let the glue dry a little too much because it really didn't seem to work all that great. It cracked a little bit, so I did a second test. Used a lot more glue, just barely let it dry before I put a thick coat of white on. I let it sit and dry for a little bit, I fanned it to dry, and then I decided to put it in front of an actual fan because I figured that's how I would be drying it anyway, plus it's a wall that would be drying, it won't be laying flat. And after about 10 minutes, it looked like this. That is actually pretty good, but with the amount of glue I had to use on that, I don't think it's really practical. I mean, we're talking about going from this to this. And this is when my shoulder angels start fighting. Because I really want to do this to that. And the one's going, no, that will take way too long. That's way too big of an investment. And the other one's going, yeah, but that would be sweet. And guess who won? Yeah, so I ran out of black paint. But I got it finished over here. Now you'll notice that the windows, at least part of the windows, are not painted. I'm considering cutting them out, actually, leaving the little bar between there, but cutting out the actual window parts there so that you can see through them. I have like these black drapes. It's kind of like gauze, like spooky gauze that I could hang in there. And then whatever lights are going on behind in the tunnels, that would show through this way and look pretty cool. At least I think it would. The only problem is, like looking at it from the back here, one of the windows is over here, so I could cut that out and there's no obstruction whatsoever. But on this side, this is right behind the window, like directly in the middle of it. So I think I could cut that window out on this piece of foam, but not this one, and still hang that black gauze back there as if it's drapes. So then, like, this window over here, you'd be able to see the light coming through. But this one over here, it would just be black gauze. Anyway, for now, everything has a coat of black. The door is still drying right now, but everything else is dry. And when I first started doing this, I was being really meticulous, like getting every little crack and crevice, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is just an undercoat. It's gonna get covered by the white, and I kind of want it to look crappy. So like the door right here, you can see brush strokes, because I just thought, you know, I want it to look crappy. So, so anything I put over that is gonna kind of show through anyway. And I'll just show you this real quick here. I restocked on our drinks for the Scarehouse. I got a big pack of water. That other Nate guy loves the Red Bull. I don't really like it, so I got him that big pack. And then I found the Chucky Punch, the Fanta Chucky Punch. Check that out. I actually got 6 packs of that. I left a pack at home. The rest is gonna stay here. And as soon as I find the other ones, I'm gonna buy a ton of that as well. Just have it stocked up here because the theme fits the Scarehouse. I also got this box of protein bars here because sometimes when I'm here working for hours on end, I get hungry. Okay, so next step. Oh crap, I didn't paint the roof. Okay, the roof is painted. All right, well, it has been a long day. We got a lot done today so far. I think it's looking good. I wish I would have put a little bit of black in with the white so that it would be more of like a gray wash instead of just a bright white. But it is looking pretty good. I still may go back and do that, like just add a tiny, tiny bit of black to some white, water it down just a little bit, and then just give a quick brush over everything there. I don't know, I might test it out with some lights in the dark first just to see how it looks, because being that bright white just might help it to kind of glow in the dark. Of course, we still do have the whole house to go behind this framework here and everything. The crackle effect is not working as well as I wish it would. There's a couple of places, like right over here, where I hit it again with the paintbrush and it kind of messed it up, which is okay because it's supposed to look kind of aged and crappy. I started over here. I had the fan like directly on this, and this right here, I actually went over again and it kind of crumbled up, and I mean, it looks okay. Not at all what I had in mind as far as like the crackle paint. So I was looking online to see what I could possibly be doing wrong, because like I said, it's kind of working, but just hardly. And it turns out that I really should have a hairdryer. So as soon as I paint the white over the glue, I need to be hitting it with hot air. I'm definitely not going back over this. This took 5 hours to do all that trim. But moving forward with the house there, I definitely will be getting the hairdryer and doing it that way, because I want that to look really good. Now, the other thing is, like we talked about earlier, cutting out these windows here. I cut out that one there, and you can see how it does go completely through. It's wide open there. We'll put a drape behind there. And then I did this one here, and you can see where I was talking about how it has like half a wall behind it. So we'll put a drape behind there too. I actually thought about like restructuring this part right here so it would kind of be built around that window so that it would be wide open just like that one down there. But I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do that. This has become a big enough project as it is. So there it is for the moment, and I'm gonna get ready to move on with the white on that part right back there. Okay, so let me just stop for a second here and give you guys a little tip if you're doing this yourself. Black paint underneath, let it completely dry. Yes to the Elmer's glue, yes to the white paint, and definitely yes to at least a hairdryer, if not a heat gun. Since I'm doing this on foam, I'm using the hairdryer. I think a heat gun would just melt straight through that foam. It is a tedious process. So this is the second window I did. It looks a lot better than this one over here. So you can see where it has cracked on this one, and down here it's more of a crackle effect. As we move up the side, you can see where that part cracked pretty good. It gets a little less up here, and then there's like hardly any of it over in this area here. So what I learned from doing this window right here is that you don't want to paint the entire thing with the glue first. I painted all the trim of this window with the glue at first. I let it dry for a little bit, then I put the paint over top, and then I hit it with the hairdryer. Now, two things. The places that cracked up really good on here, like this right here, some places down here, that had thicker, wetter glue and thicker paint. This part right here, the glue was almost completely dried, and it's just a thin layer of paint on there. I'm going to show you on this other window right here, you need that wet glue underneath so that the paint kind of slides on it. So you can see that this one is turning out a lot better all the way down the sides, the top, over here on this side. This one looks really good. So what I've done on this one to make it look that good is to just paint one little section at a time with the glue, almost immediately go back over it with a thick layer of paint, and then immediately hit it with the hairdryer. To get the splitting started, you pretty much have to hold the hairdryer like, half an inch from it. That will begin, and then you kind of follow it up, and all those splits will start to split all the way up. It's a process, and this whole house is gonna take some time, but it's gonna look good in the end. I better get started. Okay, it is finally done, I think. Man, that was a huge job, guys, but check this thing out. It looks totally awesome. I still need to figure out what I'm gonna do with the windows, with the drapes, or whatever I'm gonna put in there. But we've got the no trespassing sign up. We've got the 709 up there. We've even got a porch on this thing. I figured the easiest way to put a porch on would just be to paint it. But yeah, that turned out really, really good. I just used a Sharpie marker to create those instead of actually trying to cut them out. Every time I thought I had the difficult part done, the next thing I did was that much more difficult. Especially painting all this here and making it look weathered and old. That was seriously a learning process, and I still don't have it down perfectly, but it does look really, really good. I mean, tell me you would know that is foam behind there. That looks like old weathered wood right there. I actually had planned on going back through and putting some like stripes on there to make it look more like shingles, but I tried it over here on this part just with some gray, like a darker gray than what's on the porch right there, and it just did not look right at all. So I figured this looks good enough, and if you look close, you can see where I actually painted each little section here as if it were its own shingle. So that way when it dried, the pattern of the cracking would make it look like it was individual shingles. It turned out really good. Over here, I did them a little bigger than what I did on the other side, but you really can't even tell. But there you go, guys. Michael Myers' house at the Scarehouse. That is gonna be an awesome background set for the whole walkthrough. And there's how it looks with the lights off. Tell me that does not look awesome. There we got Michael standing up there. That looks so cool. You guys tell me what color lights you think would be really cool, like back up in there illuminating the house, red or blue, or what do you guys think?